Alright, let's tackle a fundamental skill: listening. We all think we're good listeners, but there's a huge difference between passively hearing sounds and actively listening to understand. This is the first and most important step in all communication. So today, we're going to break down what it means to truly listen. Let's get the definitions straight. Hearing is a passive, physical process. It's automatic. Sound waves hit your ears whether you want them to or not. Listening, on the other hand, is an active, mental choice. It requires focus, intention, and effort to consciously process what someone is saying and understand their meaning. One is an accident, the other is an action. We're all guilty of these from time to time. Do you find yourself preparing your advice before the other person has even finished? Do you interrupt to share your own story? Or maybe you just filter out the parts you don't want to hear? These habits, along with debating and mind-wandering, shut down communication and damage relationships. So, where do we start? With two simple, powerful practices. First, suspend your judgment. Just for a moment, set aside your own biases and opinions. The goal is to accept their perspective as it is. Second, practice intentional silence. After they finish speaking, pause for just 2 or 3 seconds. This small gap sends a powerful message. I'm actually thinking about what you just said. True listening is a process, and it starts with step 1: receiving. This is about more than just hearing, it's about tuning out distractions and taking in all the cues, verbal and nonverbal. Step 2 is understanding. This is where you work to grasp the meaning of the message. The key here is to avoid jumping to conclusions and focus on what's actually being said. Once you've received and understood the message, we move to step 3: remembering. This is where your brain summarizes and stores the key points. After that comes step 4: evaluating. Here, you analyze the message for logic and validity. But there's a critical rule: this step must only happen after the speaker has completely finished. That's the principle of deferred judgment. The final step, step 5, is responding. This is where you give feedback, closing the loop. It can be nonverbal, like nodding, or verbal, like asking a question. Your response then becomes a new message for the other person to listen to, creating a continuous cycle of communication. It's this feedback that makes listening a two-way street. Now let's go deeper with empathic listening. The goal here is not to be a problem solver, but a companion. It's about understanding the hidden feelings and intentions behind the words. You stop trying to give advice and instead focus on acknowledging their emotions and making a genuine effort to see the situation from their perspective. The goal is connection, not correction. The best tool for empathy is a good question. Let's look at two types. Closed-ended questions are for facts. They get a yes, no, or a short answer. Think, did you finish the report? But open-ended questions, which start with what, how, or why, are for opening up conversations. They invite people to share their thoughts and feelings, like, what were the biggest challenges with that report? Let's add 2 more question types to our toolkit. Probing questions dig deeper for specifics, like, you said you were disappointed. What part of the results specifically? Feeling questions directly and gently address the emotion. Like, how did you feel when that happened? The key for both is genuine curiosity, not interrogation. You have to really care about the answer. One of the most powerful techniques you can use is paraphrasing. This is simply restating what the other person said in your own words to check for understanding. It does three amazing things. It prevents misunderstandings. It helps the speaker organize their own thoughts. And it shows the ultimate respect by saying, I am listening so carefully that I can give your words right back to you. We can break paraphrasing into 3 levels. The first is restating content, just summarizing the facts to make sure you got them right. The second is reflecting feelings, where you identify and articulate the emotion you hear in their voice. The third, and most advanced, is checking intentions, where you try to infer the underlying goal or need behind their words. Let's see it in action. Your subordinate is struggling. A bad response is to jump in with advice or just ignore the problem. A good response uses paraphrasing. First, summarize the issues to show you heard them. Then, empathize with their frustration to show you understand their feeling. Only then can you effectively move on to finding a solution together. Sometimes, building relationships isn't the main goal. That's when we need critical listening. While empathic listening focuses on emotional acceptance, critical listening focuses on logical analysis. The goal is to evaluate a message for its accuracy, logic, and credibility. This isn't about being negative, it's about being a wise filter to avoid misinformation and make rational decisions. How do we practice this, especially in meetings? By asking 4 key questions: who is speaking and what's their bias? What is the evidence for their argument? How logical is their reasoning? And finally, are there other perspectives we should consider? By creating a culture where we politely question and verify ideas, we can help the entire organization make smarter decisions.